Hello students, we were doing the chapter of our supplementary book, The Hack Driver. As you know very well students, that there is a lawyer who has been sent from the court to offer summons, and he has been looking for a person known as Oliver Lukins for a case to be solved and to be present in the court and to give the required information. We have already seen that Oliver Lukins pretends himself to be Bill Magnuson, and he says that he has a cart that is driven by horse. So he is a hack driver, and he can help him out in finding Oliver Lukins. So we see in this chapter how he deceives the lawyer, and he goes first at the Gustav's shop, and there the man is not seen. Somebody tells that he has gone in the main streets this side of the hotel, and then they move to outside the Gustav shop, and they move on to another shop, that is the Gray's barber shop. And the reason that has been given is that the credit of Oliver Lukins has exhausted, and so he has gone to another barber shop to have a shave. Let us see if he is found at Gray's barber shop. Bill concluded that since Lukins had exhausted his credit at Gustav's, he had probably gone to Gray's for a shave. At Gray's barber shop, we missed Lukins by only 5 minutes. So we see that how they are playing a game of hide and seek, that whenever they reaches a place, they find or they are told that Oliver Lukins has just left. So they narrowly misses him every time, everywhere they go, normally to the places where he normally hangs out. At Gray's barber shop, we missed Lukins by only 5 minutes. He had just left, probably for the pool room. So maybe he has gone to the pool room. This is another place where he normally hangs out, and you know there is a pool table and people play pool in on that. At the pool room, it appeared that he had just bought a pack of cigarettes and gone out. Again, we know that they narrowly misses him, that as soon as they reach the pool room, it is found that he's just bought a pack of cigarettes and he has left. So we pursued him, just behind him, but never catching him. So we were thinking that we were just behind him, but we were not able to catch him because he left wherever we went. And we know, students, the reality is that Oliver Lukins himself is Bill or Magnuson. And we know that he will never be found because he is deceiving, he is cheating, he is trying to pretend that he is Bill. But he is himself Oliver Lukins. For an hour, till it was past 1 o'clock, you can understand it was already informed that he has to catch the afternoon train, and it is already past 1 o'clock, so it is lunch time, and he was hungry. But I had so enjoyed Bill's rough country opinions. But the lawyer is telling us as a narrator that he enjoyed the company of Bill very much. And it is rough country opinions. So about his neighbors. So the way he was describing and narrating everything about this town and the people, about his neighbors, the lawyer liked the company of Bill very much because he had very good narrative skills, that I scarcely cared whether I found Lukins or not. So it was a point where he was enjoying the company of Bill so much so that he didn't care whether he is able to find Lukins, but the moment was enjoyable. So ironically, the person who is deceiving Bill is actually liking the company of this person. The lawyer is actually finding the company of Bill Very nice. Let us see whether the reality is known to him or not. How about something to eat? Obviously, it is lunchtime. They will have to eat something. I suggested, let's go to a restaurant and I'll buy you lunch. Okay. So now we can see that the lawyer offered Bill to have lunch in a restaurant. Obviously, because he is a stranger, so he would go to a restaurant and eat. Well, I ought to go home to the wife. I don't care much for these restaurants. Only 4 of them, and they are all bad. Again, as an insider, as a resident of this town, he is giving him the information that there are only 4 restaurants in this town, and all of them provide you bad food. It's nothing good. Tell you what we will do. And Bill proposes a nice new plan. What is this? We'll get the wife to pack up a lunch for us. My wife will pack a lunch for both of us. She won't charge you more than $50. And again, here you can see this man is very smart. He's earning money. He is not a very kind man to offer food just for free, but $50 it would be charged by Bill. And it would cost you more for a greasy meal in a restaurant. We all know that when we go to a restaurant or a hotel and we dine there, it's a very greasy food. A lot of oil and ghee and cheese, butter, etc. A lot of fats are used to prepare the nice meals. And that is normally not very good for our health. And we'll go up to the Wade's Hill. So after collecting the lunch from my house, we will go up to this hill. What is the name of this hill? Wade's Hill. And enjoy the view while we eat. And we can nicely enjoy the view here. While eating, we can have a nice view down the hill. So can you imagine, normally as we normally take our lunch and we go for a picnic and try to eat in a nice garden or a nice place. So similarly, he has also proposed that we can have a nice view and we can eat. What more does Bill say about Lukens and his family? So we have already seen how he talks about Lukens, that how he is a dishonest person. He is otherwise good, but you cannot take money. You cannot make him part with his money. And his mother is also living here. The mother part has not been written here. That we will see in the future part of the chapter. Does the narrator serve the summons that day? We will now see whether he is even able to serve the summon or he has to go without his motive being fulfilled. And who really is Lukens? Let us see when we read the remaining part of the chapter, we will come to know this. I know that Bill's helpfulness to the young fellow from the city was not entirely a matter of brotherly love. The lawyer is telling us, or the narrator is telling us, that it is very evident that Bill is not very kind or helpful, because if somebody is absolutely kind, then he won't ask for money in return. But here we know that it is not brotherly love. He is not having a brotherly love, otherwise he would not have taken money in return. I was paying him for his time, and it was because I was paying him for every hour, $2 per hour. Even when we are sitting for lunch and we are not actually using the hack, I will have to pay for him. Even I am paying for the lunch. In the end, I paid him for 6 hours. So we can say that $12 would be the amount that would have been, including the lunch hour. So this hour was also included, though they were sitting and enjoying the view at what was then a very high price. And it was not a low price. So we cannot conclude that this was brotherly love. It was very professional. But he was no more dishonest than I. In what way he was dishonest and I charged the whole thing to the firm. Then the lawyer is also telling that I am also a little dishonest in a way, because whatever has been charged from me by Bill, I in turn charged it from my law firm. So in this way, I am also dishonest, equally dishonest as Bill. But it would have been worth paying him myself to have his presence. But I enjoyed the company, and these $2 per hour are not, I don't feel them much, because I enjoyed the company and it was a nice experience, and somebody was there to guide me, help me. So this was also something that helped me out. His cheerful country wisdom. He was a cheerful man, and the kind of wisdom he carried, a special wisdom typical to the country or the town people, was very refreshing to a country boy like myself. I'm also sick of the city life and the kind of behavior of city people and their attitude. I myself I am a country boy, and so I liked the company of this countryman. So it was refreshing to have his company. So it was very entertaining to be with him. As we sat on the hilltop, looking over the pastures and creek which slipped among the trees. So what did they do? Finally, they collected the lunch and they sat on the hilltop. Which hilltop? Wade's Hill. Looking over the pastures, the green fields, and creek which slipped among the trees. He talked to New Mullion, and the creek is the part of the sea which extends into the land. These are creeks, so we can say kind of canals are there, or small riverlets are there, which slipped among the trees. He talked of New Mullion, so he gave further information and description of this place and painted a picture in words of all the people in it. And he was describing the different kinds of people who resided in that. He noticed everything, but no matter how much he might laugh at people, he also understood and forgave their foolishness. Now, here we come to know about again Bill, that how he was a very good observer of people, and he in a way laughed at people, mocked at people in a way, made fun of, but at the same time understood them and even forgave them for their foolishness. So this was how what kind of a belief that was formed, what kind of a perception that the lawyer made of Bill. He described the minister's wife who sang the loudest in church when she was most in debt. As an example, it has been given that how he was describing the people of the town. On one hand, had described the minister's wife who sang very loudly, and very ironically, or very uh, funny thing is that whenever she is most in depth, she becomes loudest in the church. So these are observations of people, and as a keen observer he is able to note that, and the way he is narrating is also very interesting. He commented on the boys who came back from college in fancy clothes. Another description was about the boys, and they came back from college in very fancy clothes that was not appropriate in the town. He told about the lawyer whose wife could never succeed in getting him to put on both a collar and a tie on the same day. Another example has been given about a lawyer whose wife never succeeded. She tried a lot to make her husband put on both collar and tie, but he never did it. He made them all lie, and the kind of explanation he was giving just brought these people before him lively. On that day, I came to know New Malian better than I did the city, and to love it better. And then he understood about, obviously, when there is somebody who gives such a nice description of a place, you will also be able to better understand that place. And in this way, the lawyer came to know about this place, this town, and he says that now he knows this town in a single visit even better than he knows the city, and he started even loving it. So this is the part that is done here. But Bill didn't know about colleges and cities. He was a resident of the town and was unaware about colleges and cities. But he had traveled around a lot of the country. Traveled in the town itself, he has traveled a lot, but he never came to the city. He is unaware about the colleges and had a lot of jobs. He has switched on a lot of jobs. From his adventures, he had brought back a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. And wherever he went, whatever adventures he had seen, he has been a part of, in a way, he developed a philosophy of simplicity and laughter. That simple living of the town, and you can laugh at, you can forgive at the same time. So a very simple kind of laughter, light-hearted laughter he was involved in. He strengthened me. So looking at him, enjoying his company, I was in a way strengthened. We left that peaceful scene of meadows and woods and resumed our search of Oliver Lukens. Again, they continued finding Oliver Lukens because this is what he had come for. We could not find him. Obviously, it is not possible. At last, Bill cornered a friend of Lucan's and made him admit what he guessed. Cornered means took him to one side and made him admit what he guessed. What is that? He met one of the Bill's friends, and Oliver's gone out to his mother's farm, 3 miles north. And the information that Oliver's friend gave was that he had gone to meet his mother, and she is living 3 miles towards the north. We drove out there, laying our plans to finally get him and serve the summons. But we know that this is all a deceiving going on, and Oliver Lukens cannot be found because he is Bill himself. So, and how the whole town has also collaborated nicely to fool and deceive him. So try to understand the chapter. We will do the remaining part of the chapter tomorrow, students. I hope you have understood it. Read and revise it nicely.